Guys, welcome back to the farm. So I'm out in the garden today and we had a bit of a cold snap last week and it was down below freezing, so we lost everything in the garden is now gone. So today I'm going to start working on pulling out the corn. We're going to feed it to the cows, what there is of it, and then we're going to get it ready to be disked up and ready for next year. So here's the result of the garden. As you can see, it's been disked up. Some manure got spread over it and then got disked into the dirt. We've got to do some soil samples on it to see how we need to correct the soil to help the plants grow better. But for now, it's pretty much it. It's just gonna sit here for the rest of the winter. We did feed the corn husks to the cows and they absolutely loved it. They destroyed it. We also got all this brush that was sitting over here on the corner picked up and burned up, and now it's not an eyesore sitting there, and our road to the chicken coop is free again, so we can take that instead of driving over the grass. And speaking of cows, as you can see right there in the middle, the little baby calf, he's been growing and he's running around and having a good time. But then over to the left, it's kind of hard to see, at the feet of that one cow is a second calf that was born yesterday. And he is our first bull on the farm. And God has brought life once again to the farm. And we actually have footage, and hopefully I can get it included in this video, of the calf's kind of the birth. I'll probably censor that a little bit because it was pretty gross. And his first steps he took, which was quite funny to watch him wobble around and try to stand up. So I can hopefully include that here. And it is truly by the grace of God that the calf is still alive, because as it turns out, when it was born, the mama was pushed up against the fence and he was born right through one of the one of these squares in the fence, his head and his feet, they come out with their hooves next to their head, and his head and his hooves were straight through one of the squares. And my dad was filming at the time. And he noticed it, stopped filming, had to go over and rip him out of the fence, bend the fence and pull him out. And he opened it up, stuck his fingers in his nose, and I guess hoped to start breathing. But you know, that's the grace of God, because had we not been out there, that calf probably would have died right there in the fence. So really cool that that happened. Well, not the fence part, but yeah. Another really cool part, we weren't actually out here when 3 gave birth to the first baby calf, but we were this time, and it was really cool. When we entered, the other cows were up here just hanging out, and as soon as we started walking in, they started mooing and being crazy and communicating, because she was back behind the trees, the 102 who gave birth to the bull. And as we walked in, the other cows created a wall between us and her, and they tried to keep themselves between us and the mama giving birth to protect it. And then we left, and they kind of all went back to just doing what they were doing. We went back probably 30 minutes later, and they did the same exact thing. They went over and tried to keep themselves between her and us to protect them as kind of a herd, which was pretty cool. Also back here in the back end of the middle pasture, not at the top, this ground has been disked up, and we've planted rye seed down, and it works as the natural God-made alternative to liming the soil. It brings the pH level down, and this is just kind of our little test spot to see if it does well, and if it does, we might do it in other pastures. And the horses have been moved over to the right pasture. They're out there munching on that hay bale. We've also made some modifications to the egg layer coop. We put they're panels from the greenhouse, left over from the greenhouse. They are just kind of blocking the wind, because as I said earlier in the video, it's been very cold, and we just needed something to try and keep them a little warmer. They got some heat lamps up there too, one there and one there, because now down there, the first 3 little chicks that were hatched have continued their journey, and they're now over here in the other half of the egg layer coop. And now in here, we've added some plants to the greenhouse. So right here we have romaine leaf lettuce, sweet basil, curly kale. This is, oh no, there's no tag. I believe this is either broccoli or cauliflower. These are cucumbers. Oh gosh, another one. This is something I can't remember, but the name will be here if I remember it. This is another kind of lettuce, butter lettuce. This is our cauliflower, so that is the broccoli. Head lettuce, curly kale, more curly kale. Yes, broccoli, there it is. Flat Italian parsley, lemon thyme, purple basil. And up here we have dill, Italian oregano, lavender, and my personal favorite, peppermint. Chives. It was chives. I couldn't see the tag at first. So those are our kind of crops that are in the greenhouse right now. We're gonna be able to harvest those through the winter once it starts staying warm in there. And actually, I was wrong earlier about the garden. We can plant potatoes and garlic in there right now, and that will grow through the winter and be ready when we harvest all the other stuff in the summer, I guess. I don't know. But yeah. Hi, Kenny. What are you up to? What, you don't want to see me? So yesterday we moved the cows out from the back pasture to the left pasture, which I'm standing in right now, and have some footage of the moving process. So I'm just gonna put that in the video right here. So we have the cows moved now, and we have all these clumps of poop we need to get spread out, and we're going to run a grate over it to knock the poop down so the flies don't lay their little babies in it and hurt the cows. So it's the next day, but here is the result of dragging that thing around. It did very good. It really worked for what we wanted it to do, and was able to move the manure, the poop around and spread it out. And as a little correction for what I said in the video when I was sitting on the four-wheeler, it is to help with the flies out there. They lay their larvae in it, and then the cows can go back over, and if they graze on it, they could get worms from it. It is for that, but it's also to spread it out and move the nutrients around so that it doesn't just sit in one clump, it's spread out over the whole pasture. So that's the second reason that I didn't know about or mentioned. So, yeah. She's not so little anymore, especially now that we have very little cows over there. It's pretty crazy the difference in how much 63A has grown already. Crazy. So that's going to do it for this one. I thank you guys for watching, and there goes our little baby bull. Bye.